What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Joe Morley Sports Show here on YouTube. I am Joe Morley. If you don't know me, I run Joe Morley Sports. Today, I'll be doing a team preview of the Indianapolis Colts. The 2020 team preview is what I've been breaking down. I go through everything if you need to know about this team. This is Frank Reich. This is your coach, your head coach. He's 17-15 in his seasons in Indianapolis. He was a former Charger and Eagles offensive coordinator. Of course, you know him from when he won the Super Bowl ring with the Eagles in 2017 as their offensive coordinator. He was Jim Kelly's backup during the 4 Super Bowl losses, so he actually should have a couple more Super Bowls. He knows how it is to lose Super Bowls, so he's actually a really good leader, and I think he's one of the best coaches in the NFL. He's worked for Tony Dungy, Jim Caldwell, Mike McCoy, Doug Peterson, and Ken Wisenhunt. So, I mean, right there, that's a good leadership to look up to, right? That right there, you can't get much better than that. So here's your 2019 team rankings of the Indianapolis Colts. We all know what happened with Andrew Luck retiring right before the season opening, forcing maybe Brissett would have been the starter anyways for a couple games, but you always hope that Andrew Luck would have been the guy the rest of the season. Well, he's gone, and that kind of you have to think that kind of mentally gets to you, right? Like, oh, we thought that we were going to have this guy. Maybe we wouldn't have had him for all 16 games, but we would have had him for at least 13, 12 games, something like that he could have carried it, and then to make the playoffs, he could have been there. So that had to hit him a lot. And I'm a big believer. I like Jacoby Brissett, and I thought he started the season off pretty well, but it just never worked out. So their offense, their passing game never got working. Really, they only had one wide receiver in T.Y Hilton, and he was hurt. A lot of the offensive players got hurt, along with the defensive players. So it was just a bad year overall of just like injuries and like just freak stuff that happened. The defense, look at their rushing game, was pretty good, but their passing game, they had young cornerbacks. It's something that it's learning. You got to learn. But I think they addressed some of those needs. So here's your starting quarterback, and look who they brought in this year, Phillip Rivers, right? So he played all 16 games last year for the Los Angeles Chargers. Sorry. He threw for 4,600 yards, 23 touchdowns. He did throw a lot of interceptions. He made some mistakes, especially like in the Raider games. I saw it in some of the main division games that he was in. He made those mistakes, but I don't know. Phillip Rivers is one of those guys that take chances. He's going to try to fit it in. And you know what? Sometimes you can't blame him for that. A tip ball here, a tip ball there, and they still put it on the quarterback. And I think it's some interceptions are not the quarterback's fault. And so I think, a lot of this is just by trying. And that's what he's going to give the Colts. He's going to give you that effort, the extra effort. And he's going to try to put it in places it probably shouldn't have go. But, it's Phillip Rivers. He's going to get it there. So, they switched offensive coordinators in the middle of the season. Last year in L.A., he had no Melvin Gordon for a while. So it was a tough season for him. That offensive line in Los Angeles wasn't the best for aging quarterback like him, which I think Indianapolis is going to be better for him. So here's the superstars that I think are in Indianapolis already. Of course, T.Y Hilton. He only played 10 games last year. But the year before, he had 1,200 yards receiving. So last year, he only played 10 games. He had 45 catches, 501 yards receiving, but 5 touchdowns. So he still was a valuable receiver, and adding more weapons with him is just going to make him better. Phillip Rivers will be able to get him the ball more, I believe. Darius Leonard, you know him, the 2018 Defensive Rookie of the Year. He missed a couple games last year. He still finished with 5 interceptions, 2 forced fumbles, 2 fumble recoveries, 5 sacks, and 121 tackles. So, I mean, imagine if he would have got those extra 3 games in, how many much more stats he would have padded on there. Quenton Nelson, can you say anything else about this guy? This guy is one of the best guards in the league. Like, every team would wish to have a guy like this. And last year when he scored that touchdown and they took it away after he did the cartwheel and stuff, man, that was the worst. Like, that was the one where I was like, just give it to him. Don't take it away. Just let him have it. Let the big guy celebrate. Come on. So there's that guy. Quenton Nelson. He only had three penalties all last year. 3 holding penalties is all he had. I mean, that's unbelievable for an offensive lineman. So that's how great he was. last year, and it's only going to get better. It was only, his second year. He's only going to get better. DeForest Buckner, they brought in from the 49ers. In the 49ers last year, of course, he was on that top defense. He had 7.5 sacks, 62 tackles, 2 forced fumbles, 4 fumble recoveries, and he's only 26 years old, and he's 6'7", guys, 6'7". So he's going to help the Colts defense out a lot. Here's the draft picks, and this is they gave the first round pick just to get DeForest Buckner, which is great, right? And then you turn around and you get Michael Pittman and Jonathan Taylor in the second round. I mean, what else can you say? I mean, that even if you walked away with just Pittman and Taylor, you cut everybody else off. You cut everybody else off, and you just walk away with Pittman and Taylor. You had a great draft, right? That's your draft. A+. Right? I don't give grades, but that's what people would say. A+. I don't say that. I just say it's a great draft. If you can get anything out of Blackman, Eason, you hope to not see Eason, right? You hope to not see him because you hope Phil Rivers can play this year and next year, and you hope not to see Eason for a while. If you can get anything out of these other guys, right, then that's great. But it doesn't matter if you don't. Not really, because you're hoping that Michael Pittman and Jonathan Taylor are your hits, and the rest of them, if they fit in and they do something, great. But those I think those are going to be home run hits. I like those two. I really do. So here's your offensive depth chart. Of course, I already put Phillip Rivers in. You have last year's Jacoby Brissett in there. Marlon Mack was the starting running back last year. He had over 1,000 yards. I think he started the season really strong, and then he just died off. Injuries got to him and stuff. He wasn't really a factor outside of the running game. Like, they had to bring in Hines, who he was your pass catching guy. He finished with 44 catches, 320 yards. So hopefully Jonathan Taylor is going to be that guy now, because in college he had 926 carries, and he ran that he had 6,174 yards in college, 50 rushing touchdowns to go along with 42 catches, 407 yards, and another 5 touchdowns. So Jonathan Taylor is going to be that guy, and you should. Yeah, I think they're going to start with Mack, and then they'll let Taylor take over. But Jonathan Taylor, he's going to be the guy in Indy. He's going to have to be that guy in Indy. T.Y. Hilton's there. Pascal didn't really do much last year. Campbell didn't really show up last year. They had spurts where you thought they were going to break out and become great, and they never did. Michael Pittman hopefully steps in and becomes that guy opposite of T.Y. that they can rely on, which I think he can. Doyle, him and Ebron were going like back and forth at the beginning of the season until Ebron got hurt, and then Doyle took over. He still had 448 yards for 4 touchdowns, but he'll get there. That offensive line, I think, is good. I think it's going to be great. Good enough for Phillip Rivers. Phillip Rivers is going to, stand behind there and be like, wow, I wish I would have had this in L.A. for a while. So here's the defense right here. Here's the defensive depth chart. It's still kind of young on the back end. I mean, your defensive backs and the cornerbacks and safeties only had they had 5 interceptions between the 4 of them last year. It's not bad. Darius Leonard, like we already talked about him, hopefully he can stay healthy the whole year. Justin Houston came over, showed that he still has it. He got 11.5 sacks last year. You're gonna add Buckner in there. That's good. Autry has to step it up. He had 3 sacks last year. Mohammed, he never was really a starter. I think he only started a couple games last year. So now he's actually going to get the whole start, and should be that starter. In the games that he played, he ended up with 3 sacks last year. So hopefully playing every day, starting and getting that mindset that he is the guy, he'll get it going. Anthony Walker was your leading tackler last year. Maybe not if Leonard wouldn't have got hurt, but Anthony Walker is right there with him. So it's a good young defense. Good enough. I don't think they're going to be top 5 or anything like that, but all they got to be is top 15, right? If they could just be a top 15 defense and hopefully Phillip Rivers can improve that offense just a little bit, they should be able to compete, and that's all you're asking for. So I think it's an improved defense from last year. Schedule, let's see, Jaguars, winnable. Vikings, it's gonna be an interesting game right there. I think they can beat the Jets. I think they can beat the Bears, the Browns, Bengals. So the first half of the schedule is not tough, right? Then you get into this is where it's gonna get you. This is where we'll find out what the Indianapolis Colts of 2020 is about starting week 9. And that's where it's going to see, because you're going to get the Ravens. You're going to get the Titans. You're going to get the Packers. Titans again. The Texans. The Raiders. The Texans. The Steelers. And the Jags. And, this is where you're going to find out if Indianapolis has what it takes to be anything, because this right here is very tough. I mean, to get the Titans, and the Texans right there within 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks. So you play 4 division games within 6 weeks, and like the top division games, and then you're throwing in like 2 of the NFL's best from last year, of the Ravens and the Packers, and then the upcoming team in the Raiders. I mean, come on. This is going to be that back end of the schedule is going to make or break the Indianapolis Colts for 2020. I'm telling you that right now, and you see it. My prediction is that 10-6. Yeah, you like that? You like that, Colt fans? 10-6. That's my prediction. I'm going 10-6. The high, maybe one more game. Something goes right. But I could also see it being a disaster, and Phillip Rivers maybe Phillip Rivers isn't what he is. He throws more picks, and the defense is still young, and they never improve. The cornerbacks never step it up, and then you go 6-10. And like I said, that back half of that schedule is what's going to determine this whole thing. So I'm going 10-6. That's a big improvement for you guys. I know the Colts fans, you might like it. You might be like, no, we want more wins, but I think 10 is reasonable. I think it might be a little bit too much. This is a salary cap. They've never really been in salary cap trouble with this regime, so I'm not worried about their salary cap. I mean, look at next year. They have so much cap space, but they have Phillip Rivers, Brissett, T.Y. Hilton, Houston, and Malik Hooker that they gotta worry about contracts for. And it shouldn't be a problem. If they want them, they'll keep them. If they don't want them, get rid of them, because they have the money, and the money's not going to be the issue for them. So the Indianapolis Colts, like I said, I believe they're going 10-6. I believe they win their division. I think Tennessee's going to take a step down. I think Houston's going to take a step down. So I think the Colts, this is their one chance. They've been building up. They've been building up. If you're a Colts fan, you know that they've been going and moving up towards this season. Hopefully Phillip Rivers is the answer. Hopefully he doesn't have to be the Phillip Rivers of the past. He just has to be better than what they've had, not turn over the ball a lot, and just let that young defense get some rest, because when they get rest and they're on the field, they're going to be a good defense. I mean, Leonard is one of the best up-and-coming linebackers in this league, so just don't let him be on the field the whole time. Let him come out, get his stuff, and Phillip Rivers pick up some third downs, let these guys rest, and this team should be good. So I'm going 10-6. Let me know below what I missed, what I didn't say, what you hate about what I said. I don't care. Just let me know, because like I said, talking sports is always great, and maybe I missed something. Maybe I didn't see something in this Indianapolis Colts team that you like. Maybe there's a player that I'm missing out on that I didn't mention. Just let me know down below, and we'll have a great time. So 10-6, 2020, Indianapolis Colts, my prediction. Stay healthy, guys. Stay healthy.